Hey guys, Coach Dave here,
Coach Eddie?
and we are the most popular duo on the internet right now.
Wait, Dave. The weirdest duo on the internet
Oh,
right now.
my bad. We're not the most popular yet.
Not yet.
We are the weirdest though.
Up and coming.
All right guys, we're moving on to the rear shoulder. We're doing that series on that. Just want to make a little cut in here, Eddie, that if you have shoulder issues, a lot of the problems can be fixed by watching my 2 videos that I put back on our YouTube channel. One of them was labeled Indestructible Shoulders #1, so that's where we're going to be doing a lot of abandoned shoulder work.
All right.
And then Indestructible Shoulders #2 is actually going to
Part 1 and Part 2.
talk about a lot of the instability issues that we have in the shoulder. But Ed, what are we talking about today specifically in the shoulder?
We're going to cover some scapular winging and some shoulder impingement issues. Mainly we see this a lot with the overhead position, but we're kind of just addressing this and why it's a problem. So Dave, I'll have you go ahead and kind of take your hand and just put it behind your back just like this. So we can kind of demo. So Dave's got a really nice shoulder that kind of, his scapula, sticks to his rib cage. But what I'm really looking for is if that scapula wings out and I can get my thumb underneath it and kind of lift it away from the shoulder. He's still pretty good there, so go ahead and go like this. Come on. You need it to pop out a little bit right here. You can see I'm really grabbing onto that. So that's what we're going to be addressing today, and why it's an issue.
So what does that do for CrossFitters who are watching this? Like, why are we concerned about that?
We're mainly looking at preventing shoulder injury. So anytime we're exposing the shoulder with an overhead movement or any repetitive motions using the shoulders or anything like that, we're just trying to prevent any shoulder injury. So when the shoulder blade is gliding away from the rib cage, it just puts us at a risk for an injury when we're in the overhead position.
And it also causes little pinches up here in the shoulder. So
Yes.
anybody we've already dealt with that issue. We talked about some mashing techniques or some ways you can do that. But if you are one that routinely gets this pinch up in here, or it shoots down your bicep, that's because that shoulder blade usually comes up and pinches and causes a lot of issues. Right
Yeah, usually a secondary issue.
All right, so let's get to it.
Let's do it. Alrighty guys, so what we're going to need for this one is we're going to need a kettlebell because we're going to be doing a kettlebell arm bar. I would recommend starting a lot lighter than you think, just because we want to make sure that we're putting that shoulder in a good spot and not at risk for any injury while we're actually doing this move. So what I like to do is I like to push all the way up and kind of punch through, make sure that shoulder is activated in the back. And bring the other hand overhead just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing this foot that's up around to the other side. And while I'm doing that, the shoulder is going to maintain straight up. And I'm going to keep that shoulder blade and the scap tight to my rib cage. So Dave, if you want to go ahead and look at where my scapula is, making sure that it's kind of stuck to the rib cage and it's not floating out anywhere. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk the other arm out and drive the opposite hip towards the ground, working down. And then we're just going to focus on internally and externally rotating the shoulder while maintaining that good position. You'll hold that for about a minute or so. Go ahead, bring it back down, reset, and then do the other side. Alrighty guys, back with another exercise. We're going to be covering scaption. I like to use these blue CLX TheraBands. We do have these in the back office. You just kind of got to ask one of the coaches for one and just ask that you're returning when you're done using it so other members can use them in the future and we don't ruin them. So what we'll do, so keep those scaps close to the body and activated, pinched down and in, and then have those arms at about a 45-degree angle. I don't really loop it around at all. Now all we're going to do is we're going to focus on bringing this straight up as far as we can and right back down, making sure we're keeping those scapulas close as possible to our rib cage as we can. Things that we want to avoid. If we're not doing this properly and we're not keeping those scapulas flat to us, we're going to notice that it just rolls up right on us and it doesn't work properly. Just like that. So make sure you got those scapulas down.
Okay guys, so one of the things that I really like to do, so after doing all the stuff that Coach Eddie showed you, we're going to be strengthening. Sometimes those muscles are going to be super sore just because maybe something's overcompensating. Usually it's going to be those traps. So they just get really locked up and we have to kind of release some of the tension in there. So we'll do some myofascial release with our favorite little lacrosse ball. But a lot of times I see people, they dig in there and they find those sore spots in their rhomboids, which is right between their shoulder blades, which is awesome, but we just sit on it. We have to actually go through some range of motion because that's what we're trying to restore. So you can do this on the floor or on the wall. My preferred method is on the floor, so that's where I'm going to go. We're going to get down, we're going to put that lacrosse ball between the shoulder blades. So we just want to make sure we're off the spine. And then when we press down into it, you're gonna lift those hips up slightly so you can press into the ball. Okay, so now I found a spot. Usually we're just gonna reach to the opposite shoulder and we'll go elbow up and down is one way. And I've already hit a good spot. And as I do about maybe 20 to 30 of these reps, then we're gonna go thumb to the opposite hip and then thumb to the floor behind us. Now you can see I'm super tight right now and I can't touch the floor behind me. Now ideally I'd like to get that all the way down, but obviously I've got a little bit of an impingement back there, so this is something I should be working on. Once I can get the thumb to the floor, then what I want to do is I'm going to do some snow angels. So that's going to be on the side, palm up. We're going to trace the floor all the way to the overhead position and then come back down. Now ideally again my hand would be flat on that floor, but I found some knots in there. So we're going to do about both sides, make sure you work it, and then when you're done, you can go ahead and test it. Now you can see I've kind of already opened up that right side just a little bit, and I'm not even exaggerating. I feel like my right arm can get back down here. My left is a little tight, and that's how you'd be able to test. So it helps your overhead positions. It also gets rid of that tension in our upper traps. That's all I got for it. Guys, this has been another episode of WOD Science. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks,
Coach
guys.
Dave.
Coach Eddie.
Next week, I think we'll be covering a little bit more shoulder stuff.
Absolutely.
And then we'll continue on. So we went through the entire body after the shoulder, and I think we're going to then target specific things we're seeing in the gym, and then we'll go from there. So remember, guys, if you optimize your body,
Optimize your life.
you're going to optimize your movement. So get in there, take care of yourself. We do a lot of things in CrossFit that basically gum up the muscles and tissues. Make sure you take care of yourself. See you next episode.
See you guys.